What's going on, guys? It's Harrison with No Bullshit Real Estate. Today we're talking about the pros and the cons of moving to Nashville, Tennessee. And obviously there's tons of resources on the internet, but I wanted to share with you 5 reasons that I think may be important for you to consider Nashville, but also 5 reasons that you may want to cross Nashville off your list as you're searching for a new community. And as somebody born and raised here in Nashville, I call myself a unicorn. I think it's important for people like you to have access to a trusted advisor who has got information like this, because I've literally grown up and been around this town for over 30 years. So I know what are some of the things that are moving and shaking about town that may be important to you as you consider a move. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the list, and we'll start with the pro list. So here we go. First off on our pro list for why you should consider moving to Nashville is that we've got a relatively low cost of living. Now, of course, all costs of living across the country are on the rise because of the economic times that we're dealing with. Yet when economists look at our sister cities to Nashville, which are Charlotte and Atlanta, consistently year in and year out, what they evaluate and find is that the data suggests that your dollar just goes a bit further in the Nashville market. And so not only does that affect you when you're buying gas or going to the grocery store, but of course that also affects you with how much home you can afford in Nashville compared to some of the other large metros that you may be considering. Number 2 on the list, sports and entertainment. So if you've got a sports fan in your life, you know that they probably love attending live events. Even though watching it on TV is cool and all, there's nothing like headed down to Bridgestone Arena to catch a Nashville Predators hockey game, or maybe an afternoon with a hot dog and a beer at the Nashville Sounds, or maybe it's as simple as heading downtown to Nissan Stadium, which they're about to redo here in a couple of years, and we're going to get a brand new stadium for those Tennessee Titans as we've got new management looking to rebuild and take the NFL by storm. But it's not just the sports that are so incredible here in Nashville. Of course, we are not known as Music City for nothing. And I know a lot of people think that just means country music, yet that's simply not true. There's great types of alternative music, indie music, anything you can really think of. Nashville has got it, and it's not uncommon for somebody to walk into a hole in the wall on Broadway any afternoon and find some top-level talent because all these guys are trying to break onto the scene and make it in the music industry. So Nashville really is the best of the best when it comes to sports and entertainment like music. Number 3 on our list is job opportunity. So there is a reason why so many large businesses are relocating to the Nashville area. And one of the primary drivers for that is because there's a ton of tax breaks and financial incentives for them to do so. And how that relates to you, of course, is because we don't have a state income tax here in Tennessee. And because of that, that means at the end of the day, your paycheck is going to be a little bit more. And that may not seem like a huge amount on any one given paycheck, yet it adds up. And so you're going to find that not only are you going to be retaining more money, however, you're going to be able to have more money and your dollar's going to go a bit further. So it's sort of a double win scenario for you. And of course, a lot of the industries that are moving to town, in addition to the entertainment and tourism that we're known for, but healthcare is another huge one. So we've got tons of healthcare providers heading to town, accounting agencies headed to town. The reality is all these businesses are finding something that they like about Nashville, and they're a great lead indicator for why you might want to consider a move here as well. Okay, number 4 on our pro list is that we've got a killer food scene, believe it or not. So a lot of times we're just simply known for our hot chicken or our barbecue, and don't sleep on those because they're amazing. Yet we've got some really great culinary experiences here in Nashville as well, because it's sort of a blending pot of so many different cultures and people from the Southeast. It's been pretty common the last couple of years, in the years of COVID and just the regrowth of it all. We've had a lot of chefs and culinary experts move to town specifically to open prestigious restaurants, and they're really freaking good. It's not just steakhouses. We've got sushi. We've got barbecue, like I mentioned. So whatever you're into, there's going to be something here that I think you're going to enjoy, because let's face it, if you're not having a good meal every once in a while, what's the point in living? Number 5 on our list is accessibility to other cities and communities in the area. I don't just mean the suburbs, yet I really mean you can get to any beach just about in a day's drive. So if you're looking to go to the Gulf Coast, it's going to take you 7 or 8 hours depending on where you're going. If you're headed to the East Coast, you can get there in a day's trip. Hey, listen, Nashville International Airport, it's an international airport. So you've got access to a major airline hub, whether you're traveling across the pond to England or just simply looking to hop a flight to somewhere else across the country. You have got access to everything here in Middle Tennessee, and its proximity, surrounded by so many other states, enables you access to go see friends and family or just get out and do a little bit of traveling, which I think is really cool. Okay, so that's really it for the top 5 pros on my list as a Nashville native. So now let's hop into the negatives and reasons why you might not want to consider Nashville, which is totally cool too. So on with the con list. Okay, first up on the con list is that if you've got children and you're looking at Davidson County proper, Nashville proper, there's an opportunity in the school systems. And this may be a similar complaint depending on where you're from, so I don't want to overstate it, yet there's a reason why so many people in Nashville proper end up sending their children to private schools. The flip side of that is our suburbs have really great education systems. And so whether you're looking to go up north to Sumner County, maybe out east to Wilson County, or of course down south to Williamson County, which makes all the headlines and gets all the accolades, you really can't go wrong if you're just looking to move to the area. However, if you're targeting Nashville specifically, keep an eye out for schools if it's important to you, and it may not be, so this may be a total non-factor. Number 2 on our con list is that traffic's starting to get kind of bad, y'all. I mean, let's call it what it is. It's not the little town that I grew up in and not the little town that you may remember if you're from here. Yet, with growth comes traffic, and that's just a reality of the situation. I know so many folks over the years always complimented Nashville and said, hey, at least your traffic's not as bad as Atlanta. Well, funny how times change. Traffic has started to get bad, and it is what it is. Can't stop progress. Okay. Number 3 on our list is actually something that contradicts what I said in the pro list, so hear me out. And that is that the cost of living is rising quickly. And that may be a common refrain depending on what part of the country you're in now, yet home values are increasing at a really rapid rate. And of course, we're anticipating that that's going to slow down a little bit, yet year-over-year appreciation has been double digits for several years, and quite honestly, between you and I, it's just not sustainable. I don't know if I would necessarily say this is a knock on Nashville. It's more of just sort of what's going on nationally and perhaps even globally at this stage. Yet, there's no denying that the cost of living in Nashville proper is going to be a bit higher than if you were to go to an area that's a little bit more rural. Now, the good news there is that we've got those places too. So if you're looking to get a piece of farmland and get off the grid and not have to talk to anybody while you rock on your rocking chair on your front porch, staring at your cattle, drinking sweet tea, we got that too, man. Number 4 on the list of cons and reasons why you might not want to consider Nashville is that our public transportation kind of sucks. And when I say public transportation, it's really only like the WeGo buses or whatever they're called. And like nobody rides those. So if you're used to a city where you walk, bike, take a rail, take a bus, like that probably isn't going to happen here. And one of the main reasons why that's not going to happen here is we just don't have the infrastructure for it at this point. Nashville has grown so quick, and we just didn't have the right systems in place to accommodate all of the growth. Another reason that you're likely not ever going to see any huge undertakings in the transportation department is because by land area, Nashville, Tennessee is actually one of the largest cities in the United States just in terms of land area. And so when you say Nashville, that could mean a lot of different things because geographically, there's so many miles that make up Nashville. And because of that, it just makes building this infrastructure tough. So that's why the vast majority, actually, I don't know anybody who doesn't drive a car. Right? Everybody has a car because it's pretty much a requirement to live here. Okay, and number 5 on our list of cons that you may want to consider if you're thinking about Nashville, Tennessee, would be that Nashville's starting to lose its charm a little bit. And this is one of those topics that may be a little bit relative and your perspective may change that, yet we've just got so many people moving here from out of town, and maybe you're one of those people who's considering a move, and God bless you, we will welcome you with open arms. Yet, a lot of what the people who were born and raised in the Nashville area loved about Nashville has started to get lost. And it's part of that Southern etiquette, Southern cultural thing that's sort of hard to describe. It's the opening the door for the person behind you, or saying hello to somebody at the gas pump, or using yes sir and yes ma'am. The weird stuff, I've had people comment to me over the years when they moved out here, and they complimented me on some of the little things I've done, and I scratch my head because I'm just like, I don't even know I do these things because I grew up in this city, and this town raised me, and so culturally, I just sort of expect that from people. I expect that Southern hospitality. And of course, with Nashville being a melting pot and an urban hub, it's really cool because you've got ideas and resources and cultures and people and all these sorts of different things coming together downtown. And yet when you get a little bit further out, you've got sort of more of the rural feeling, type deal. So you don't have to be a part of the urban core if you don't want to. You don't have to listen to the fire trucks and the nightlife if you don't want to. We've got great communities that might be a fit for you. So anyway, these are the list of the top 5 things that I think might be a pro if you're considering Nashville, Tennessee, but also the 5 things that might be considered a con if you're considering Nashville, Tennessee. Like I said before, like this video, hit the subscribe button. If you've got questions about anything Nashville related, or if we can be a resource for you as you consider a move to Nashville, give us a shout, drop us a DM. We're here to help in any way we can. Cheers.